Pack. Welcome back to God Dog Tarot. Today's angel transmission pick a card is all about the message your angels need you to hear right now. We've got 3 piles today, each marked with a card from the God Dog deck. Before we start, I meditated on each pile and 3 impressions came through instantly. For pile 1, I saw a veil lifting, revealing a woman. For pile 2, I heard, "It's time." For pile 3, I saw an ending with a door to a new beginning. So release your fear, let your inner ear hear, and choose the pile that's already chosen you. Each pile holds a different December transit. For a select group of you, those energies won't separate into piles. They'll read like chapters of the same story. And finally, if you like the vibe, hit subscribe and watch what happens next. Timestamps are below, and your reading starts now. Pile 1, the High Priestess. The first thing I saw for you was a veil lifting, and behind it, a beautiful woman. This is you seeing yourself clearly again. This is your intuition waking back up. If you've been doubting something, if you've been torn between what your mind says and what your body knows, December brings an answer you can't ignore. I'm going to reveal these one by one and let Spirit tell the story in real time. The first card is what the veil represents. What have you not been seeing? What's been hidden in plain sight? 3, 2, 1. Here we have the Earth Alpha Female. What you have not been seeing and what the veil represents is that the world is ready to see who you truly are. The veil represents a barrier that you have put up in order to protect yourself. But the veil lifting is Spirit telling you that it is safe to come out of hiding. It is safe to show your new face. It is safe to be seen and to show your gifts to the world. The second card represents what part of you is emerging. 3, 2, 1. The Shaman. These are your gifts emerging. As you can see here, we have the drum, a rattle, and sage burning, with some depiction of cave art in the background of this card. You may be an artist, a musician, or a spiritual healer. Whatever it is, your gifts are ready to come out and play. Like the first card, it is safe to do so, and you may be discovering new gifts every day. Things that you did not consider were gifts, things that the world was not ready to see. There may have been times where you've brought forth your gifts to the world and the world was not in a vibrational place to accept them. You may have been a black sheep or an outcast for most of your life. But that storyline is ending because you are now emerging as the shaman, which is the person that is most deeply respected in their community. The third card represents what have you been feeling but ignoring. 3, 2, 1. We have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. You have been feeling a lot of karmic cycles ending all at once. These may have been old stories, old relationships, old narratives about who you are. You may have had a history of toxic relationships. You may have had a history of being rejected over and over. You may have had a history of rejecting others. In all cases, these are karmic cycles that have come over and over. And the reason it's coming out in reverse is that what you are ignoring is that all of these cycles are coming to an end. They have already ended. So why would you ignore that? Well, these karmic cycle ending does not always feel like a celebration. Often it feels like grief, feels like sadness. It feels like heartbreak, it feels like self-doubt. So you've likely been ignoring the power of these karmic endings so that you can continue to function in the 3D world. The fourth card represents what is shifting in December. 3, 2, 1. Here we have the Knight of Earth, who came out in reverse. The Knight of Earth is a knight that takes action in the 3D world and plugs steadily forward. What is shifting in December is that you are slowing down your productivity that others can see. December is going to ask less of you financially. It's going to ask less of you in work. Spirit is going to create a greater space for you to go internal, go inside. It's not a slowing or a stopping. It is a refocusing on what brings you joy, on being connected to spirit, on spending time with family, on spending time in play and in creativity. What's shifting in December is that Spirit will create a space for you to focus on those parts of your life that aren't seen in society as making progress in the rat race. Card number 5 is what your angels want you to do with this truth. 3, 2, 1. We have the 8 of Cups in reverse. If the 8 of Cups had come upright, we would be looking at Spirit's advice being to walk away, to move on, to leave what is not serving you, to leave the people and the emotions and the places that are bringing you grief. But this card is coming out in reverse. So what your angels want you to do with this truth is nothing. They recognize that you may be feeling a level of grief right now, of karmic cycles ending, and you might be in a very uncomfortable pause. No pun intended. But in the month of December, Spirit wants you to, before running off into the sunset, before experiencing your new life, Spirit wants you to pause and take a moment and a break to allow these feelings to work through you before walking off to bigger and better things. Pile 1, your intuition is rising. The veil is gone, and this is your month of clarity. Pile 2, the Chariot. the first thing I heard for you was it's time. Time to move forward. Time to choose your direction. Time to step into momentum that's been building underneath the surface. If you've felt stalled or unsure or pulled in two directions, December brings motion you can't ignore. I'm going to reveal these cards one by one and let Spirit tell the story in real time. Let's see how this story wants to unfold. Card 1 represents what's been building behind the scenes. 3, 2, 1. We have the 5 of Earth in reverse. This is also the 5 of Coins in reverse and in standard tarot cards. When it's in its upright, it represents being left out in the cold and watching others celebrate indoors, being unseen and unheard. When it comes out in reverse, what is building behind the scenes is that you have been building your own home outside. You're no longer waiting for others to let you in. This card can also represent the story of Mother Mary and Joseph knocking on doors and hoping that someone will let them in so that Mary can give birth. But there was no place at the inn. They were left out in the cold. And who offered them shelter were the animals in a barn. For you, you may have built your own barn, or you may have found those that are willing to let you in. What's been building behind the scenes without the people inside who once left you out knowing is that you no longer need to be invited into their world. You have built your own. Card 2 represents what version of you is rising to take the reins. 3, 2, 1. And here we have the moon. This represents your most wild self. This represents your shadow self that you have integrated. You can see here both the shadow and the real force are howling up to the moon together in unison. One a domestic dog and the other a wild wolf. You have successfully integrated these two parts of yourself. And what happens when someone who is integrated takes the reins in their own life? Well, you're in for a very strategic and exciting road ahead. When you are able to drive ahead with not just your domestication, but your wildness intact, your wildness will keep you from veering off into paths that others would have for you, but you would not have for yourself. Your domesticated self will keep you from allowing your wildness to take you off course into dangerous places. The wild part of us loves danger, loves adventure, but without domestication, it will be to our own detriment. Card 3 represents what inner tension is revealing your true direction. 3, 2, 1. We have the 8 of Earth here in reverse. So you may be steadily working and plugging ahead. You might be working on your own business. You might be progressing in your career, or you may have simply stagnated in the career that you're in so that you can focus on things that truly bring you passion. The inner tension is revealing your true direction, where you may no longer be satisfied with the status quo. It may no longer be good enough for you to plug along at a steady pace. Even if you are an entrepreneur, you may be investing in a business and creating a business that is not aligned with your creativity. You can see here, this dog is beating jewelry. That represents a creative passion as well as a spiritual one. Card 4 represents what is shifting in December. 3, 2, 1. We have the 8 of C, which is the 8 of Cups. What's shifting in December is a willingness to go your own way. You're going to have a willingness to process through deep emotions that have been previously stuck. You can see here each shell on this fence represents an emotional experience that has stagnated in the ground and created a force field of protection around you. You're walking away from all of that outer protection. You're willing to expose your true self. Pile 5 represents, what do your angels want you to do with this message? 3, 2, 1. We have the Earth Alpha Female. Your angels would like you to spend December in observance. You have developed a phenomenal, warm heart capable of wonderful things. But December is meant for you to simply observe prior to taking action. You want to emotionally grieve and lay down these shells of protection, but that does not mean to leave the observer role. Continue to watch and wait for the right timing. You know what it is. So pile 2, your momentum is rising. The hesitation is gone. This is your month of movement towards the road of your greatest passions. Pile 3, the Death card. The first thing I felt for you was an ending, and right behind it, a door opening to a new beginning. Something in your life is completing its cycle, not a loss, but a release. If you've been clinging to something out of fear, if you've sensed a chapter fading out, December brings a transition you can no longer delay, and it brings you into alignment with what's next. I'm going to reveal these cards one by one and let Spirit tell the story. Let's see how the story wants to unfold. Card 1 represents what chapter is closing. 3, 2, 1. the call. This is Judgment in the Major Arcana in the traditional tarot. What chapter is closing is the chapter where you were not seen in your highest light. You were not seen in your full greatness. You may have been misunderstood or invisible to those who are around you. Now, in moving forward, those around you who once may have hurt you, harmed you, or ignored you are now going to witness your rise. Card 2 represents what identity is emerging from this ending. 3, 2, 1. We have the 5 of Cups, and it's coming out in reverse. If it had come out upright, this would be an identity of disappointment, of choosing the wrong cup. You may have often in your past been faced with choices in relationships and jobs and in friendships, and you chose the cup that repeatedly squirts you in the eye. That is not your fault, but you may have developed the wrong patterns in your childhood or in your adulthood that caused you to choose what repeatedly provoked you, hurt you. The identity that's emerging from this ending is one who no longer tolerates relationships that are not built on faith and mutual understanding. The 5 of Cups here in reverse represents an identity of someone who knows how to make the right choices for them and no longer falls for manipulation. Card 3 represents what have you been feeling but resisting. 3, 2, 1. The Fire Guardian here in reverse represents the rise of passion, of excitement, of bold action. You may have been feeling this rise inside of yourself for some time. If you came here from pile 2, the Chariot especially, this will be exponentially so for you, is this inner drive. But you've been resisting it because you have been playing small for others' comfort for far too long. You are resisting it because you are afraid of hurting those around you or hurting yourself and choosing the wrong path. But trust yourself that you have healed those tendencies that chose the wrong people, places, and things to contend with. Card number 4 represents what new beginning is entering in December. 3, 2, 1. Oh, the 10 of Earth. This is the 10 of Coins. This is the beginning of the next phase of your life, the next chapter of your life. You're no longer going to be surrounded by those who cannot meet your greatness with their own. You're going to be building a community of your own. may be meeting a partner. You may be meeting or you might be deepening your relationship to your own partner. Perhaps you have been dealing with outside influences that have been impacting your relationship. All of that ends in December. You will have a new beginning that will lead you to the 10 of Earth. The final card represents, what do your angels want you to do with this transition? 3, 2, 1. We have the Queen of Cups here in reverse, the Sea Alpha female. In this next transition, your guides want you to stop showing up for everyone you meet with unconditional softness and unconditional mothering or fathering or leading. They want you to step out of this role. The only ones that should be receiving that are your own family, your own children, your own close relationships that deserve that type of love. In this next transition, your guides want you to become more discerning. With this transition into your greatest self, your guides want you to stop feeling guilty for choosing yourself, your loved ones, and your family moving forward. Pio 3, your rebirth is rising. The ending has done its work, and this is your month of